Hey there, and welcome to Juicy Celeb Talks. Years have passed since Whitney Houston's untimely death, yet her name continues to be surrounded by controversy. One of the most talked about topics is the involvement of Ray J, who spent time with Whitney shortly before she died. Many speculated about his connection to her drug use, adding more drama to the situation. Then there's Clive Davis, a significant figure in Whitney's career, who provides a glimpse into the inner workings of the music industry, where profit often takes precedence over an artist's well-being. Whitney, like all of us, was imperfect. Her relationship with Ray J and the rumors of blackmail tarnished her once pristine image. There are even reports suggesting Whitney planned to reveal secrets about Clive Davis in a tell-all book before her death. Could this revelation have played a role in her tragic end? Things are not entirely clear, as it's alleged that Ray J, along with Clive Davis and Diddy, plotted to remove Whitney from the scene as part of a power play, almost like a dark Hollywood thriller. They allegedly saw Whitney as a sacrificial pawn in their quest for fame and fortune. This feels like a betrayal, considering anything with her name seems to be used strictly for financial gain by those close to her estate, including Clive Davis. According to Jaguar Wright, Whitney's death was not just a tragic accident. She made bold claims that Whitney didn't simply pass away peacefully but met a more sinister fate. Jaguar asserted that Whitney wasn't just found peacefully in a bathtub, she had injuries suggesting something far more disturbing. Jaguar didn't hold back, openly accusing Ray J of being involved in shady dealings orchestrated by Clive Davis and Diddy. Furthermore, she suggested that the situation was more complex and that Ray J had deeper connections with both Clive and Diddy, looking up to Diddy as a role model. Fast forward 5 years after her split from Bobby Brown, and Whitney was back in the spotlight, closely associated with Ray J. Rumors flew about them being romantically involved, though nothing was confirmed. Still, the significant age difference, Whitney at 48 and Ray J at 31, raised eyebrows. They were seen together everywhere, hitting up clubs and fancy dinners like it was no big deal. Whitney and Bobby's marriage was far from a fairy tale. Bobby revealed all the details in his memoirs about their roller coaster relationship, constant drama, arguments, and the cycle of breaking up and getting back together. Their love story was a tragic train wreck, with drugs, domestic issues, and rumors of infidelity swirling around. Yet it was Whitney who took the first step, hooking up with none other than Tupac Shakur. Bobby was shocked, especially since he was close to Tupac and considering joining his label. When Tupac tragically passed in '96, Whitney was devastated, and Bobby had to watch her mourn the loss of a former love. Their marriage turned into a crazy dance of breaking up and making up, until Bobby couldn't take it anymore. He had to ask himself if all the drama was worth it, ultimately deciding to end things for good. During Whitney's stints in rehab, Bobby felt painted as the bad guy, receiving side-eye from her counselors despite staying clean himself. He quietly left their marriage, starting fresh in LA with just $1,000 in his pocket. There, he reconnected with Alicia, his best friend, who later became his second wife. Their split wasn't just the end of a marriage, it triggered a series of events leading to Bobbi Kristina's downward spiral. While the world watched, rumors of Whitney's ties with Ray J stirred even more drama in the gossip columns. Ray J has always maintained that they were just friends, denying any romantic involvement. But people didn't buy it, not even after Whitney's tragic death in 2012. Shortly before she left us, they were seen together, leaving everyone wondering what was really going on between them. There were whispers suggesting that Ray J wasn't just Whitney's companion but might have played a part in her struggle with addiction. Allegedly, he was the one providing her with more drugs, pushing her deeper into her battle with crack addiction. Despite Whitney's denials in interviews, those close to her, including Ray J himself, likely witnessed her downward spiral. Whitney tried rehab, but it didn't stick. She admitted to her wild streak, saying she just wanted to enjoy the party scene but insisted she wasn't on a reckless path, she just wanted to keep living. Tragically, her battle against addiction wasn't enough in the end. Diddy and Clive Davis were supposedly pulling strings behind the scenes. Clive Davis, the mastermind behind Arista Records, where Whitney made her mark, was like the ultimate music mogul, turning artists into icons. But as the early 2000s rolled in, cracks started showing in their once strong bond, with Whitney drifting away from Davis and his label. Allegations flew that he profited from Whitney's music sales and exploited her story in a detailed account book after her death. Here's where it gets deep. Word has it that Clive knew Whitney's body was still in the building when he decided to pop champagne. This move has left people scratching their heads, questioning why someone so close to Whitney would choose to party where she tragically passed away. Whitney's inner circle isn't holding back, calling out Clive for disrespecting her memory. Some fans even suggest that Clive's pre-Grammy bash was more than just a party, hinting at something straight out of a Hollywood thriller. In the lead-up to her death, there were rumors that Whitney acted strangely after meeting with Clive. Reports say she visited his place while he was preparing for his big pre-Grammy parties. Although we don't know what happened between them, media reports indicated she appeared disheveled and disoriented afterward, with sweat running down her face and blood dripping down her leg. 2 days later, she was found unconscious in the bathtub and passed away on February 11, 2012. Tragedy struck for Whitney Houston as her assistant found her dead in a bathtub just before she was supposed to attend a pre-Grammy event. When her bodyguard, Ray Watson, got the call, he rushed to help. Despite frantic efforts to revive her and paramedics arriving at 3:30 p.m., Whitney was pronounced dead at 3:55 p.m. The news sent shockwaves through Los Angeles and beyond. According to the coroner's report, Whitney's death was an accidental drowning, with heart disease and drugs in her system. But here's the twist: although they found drugs, the coroner said they weren't enough to cause her death outright. Whitney was still breathing when she went under, so what really happened in those crucial moments? The craziest part is that Clive refused to cancel his party, earning him the side-eye from everyone. The most he did was give a speech at the party, expressing his grief over Whitney's loss. By now, you have all learned of the unspeakably tragic news of our beloved Whitney's passing, he said. I don't have to mask my emotions in front of a room full of so many dear friends. I am personally devastated by the loss of someone who has meant so much to me for so many years. Whitney was so full of life. Whitney was a beautiful person and a talent beyond compare. He certainly wasn't devastated enough to call off the party, that's for sure. What's even worse is that the party went on in the same hotel where Whitney died, and they hadn't even taken her body out yet. Say what you will, but that's some seriously eerie stuff, throwing an extravagant bash while your friend's body is just upstairs in a hotel room. Even CBS News reporters found this strange and wrote, Houston's body remained in the hotel hours after emergency responders pronounced her dead. Downstairs, Davis's lavish party carried on. Yep, all the glitterati, from Tom Hanks to Diddy, were living it up, totally clueless about what had just gone down upstairs. Was there more to Whitney's passing than meets the eye? Could Davis have been involved in something darker than we can imagine? The questions remain unanswered, leaving fans and critics alike pondering the real story behind the tragic end of one of the greatest voices of our time.
In a raw interview with Diane Sawyer back in 2002, Whitney Houston opened up about her battles with addiction and her tumultuous relationship with Bobby Brown. She also hinted at some really dark stuff going on behind the scenes with Davis and the music industry. Fast forward to Clive Davis reflecting on his last moments with Whitney before her tragic passing, painting her as being in great spirits and proudly showing off how she had kicked her nicotine habit. Davis even talked about rescheduling a recording session because he was so impressed by Whitney's renewed energy. Just 48 hours before her death, Clive Davis had a final encounter with Whitney. He described it as a wonderful time, showing her how the nicotine from her smoking had been eliminated and booking a recording session for August. He reminisced about their time together at his hotel, only for the shocking news to drop shortly after Whitney had tragically passed away, found drowned in a bathtub at the same hotel where Clive had planned his pre-Grammy party. Reflecting on those last moments, Davis didn't just focus on the end but also looked back to the beginning, recalling his first encounter with Whitney, a scene vividly depicted in the upcoming Whitney Houston biopic I Wanna Dance with Somebody. He recounted her audition at a small club, Sweetwater, where she sang The Greatest Love of All, a song commissioned years earlier for a film about Muhammad Ali. Davis was amazed by the raw emotion Whitney infused into the song, even more so than the original creators. He would never forget it, and that was how they first met after that audition. But even amid nostalgia, Davis couldn't escape the swirling rumors about his alleged involvement in Whitney's death. Davis's legendary pre-Grammy parties, filled with Hollywood's elite, now face serious scrutiny. There are whispers that Whitney Houston, battling her inner demons, often succumbed to substance use at these extravagant events. Despite notable incidents like the uneasy vibe at the 2001 party, Whitney continued to show up, with insiders seemingly looking the other way. Some speculate that Davis created an environment that enabled Houston's struggles with addiction, choosing not to intervene.